Good morning, curling fans. I'm Brent Lang, live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. This is Championship Saturday at the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. All four semifinals on the sheets early this morning. Thanks for those who got up early enough to watch us here. I know it's 8:30 here on the East Coast, but that makes it a lot earlier everywhere else in Canada. We've got four great games on tap, though. Our feature game this morning, is Saskatchewan versus Nova Scotia on the ladies' side. Saskatchewan and Team Sherry Anderson are the four-time defending Canadian champions, looking to make it 5, but have had a few stumbles coming into the playoffs, losing their last 3 games, including a game last night against today's opponent, Nova Scotia. So really looking forward. This is our first look at Team Sherry Anderson since I got to town anyway. Very familiar name to lots of curling fans across the country, but we'll see what goes on there. The other semifinal on the ladies' side is Team Ontario, Joanne Rizzo versus Team Quebec and skip Chantal Osborne. So a battle of Ontario and Quebec and Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia. Winners will be in the ladies' gold medal game this afternoon. Losers will play in the ladies' bronze medal game. And on the men's side, we've got Ontario versus Nova Scotia in one semifinal. Howard Rahala, we saw him last night. Their team struggled from time to time and had the win in their grasp and let it slip away, which booked them a date with Team Nova Scotia and Glenn McLeod, who again had a shot to win last night to get first place and couldn't quite pull it off, so ended up with a date with Ontario. And then Alberta and James Paul giggled his way into the semifinals last night. A great eighth end from the fellas. Mark Klink with 2 fantastic shots to set up the 3, and then an unforced error by Howard Rahala in the last one to keep James Paul and the boys alive today. So sometimes things happen for a reason. Karma's on their side. The curling gods are looking fondly on Team Alberta, but they're up against what has been the best team all week. At least that's what the record indicates. Randy Neufeld and Team Manitoba, undefeated, which sometimes is a little extra weight on your shoulders coming into the playoffs. If things don't go well early, it's pretty easy to start thinking, well, we're really going to win every game in the round robin, and this is how it's going to go down. So be interesting to see there. But 4 great matchups on the ice. I am alone in the booth again. Randy, being from Alberta, I don't think he does mornings out east. I'm not sure what he did back in the Brier days out here. Maybe that's why they lost the Brier out east to Nova Scotia years ago. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to get underway here. Nova Scotia is going to start with the hammer. We see Helen Radford calling the game. Teresa Breen does throw last rocks for Nova Scotia. They get the hammer because they beat Saskatchewan in the round robin, but also had a better record. It goes record first, then head-to-head. So nobody drew for the hammer today. Hammer was assigned based on round robin records. So here we've got Anita Silvernagel. As I mentioned, this team won 4 Canadian championships in a row.
Line's good. Okay.
Pretty impressive stuff. I don't care if that's juniors, seniors, whatever it is. Randy and I were talking last night. Seniors is kind of the opposite of juniors. As you get older in juniors, you have more chance to win generally because you get better. And the new teams coming in are younger. Here, it's the opposite. So every year, Sherry and her team get a little bit older, and some more women across our great country here are added to the senior ranks. So pretty impressive to win 4 in a row and be here again with a chance to win 5.
Whoa! Whoa!
So the first one sliding into the rings from Anita.
Nice throw, Julie.
And lead Julie McMullen asked to hit and stay. And I think the fix is in again. They've obviously signed a petition or signed an agreement that they are not going to give me anything to talk about in first ends this week. I think if I was Sherry here, I know Nova Scotia has tons of experience as well, but I think I might have thrown a guard here and tried to put some pressure on, but I guess part of the reason might be just because of their experience in this situation, but part of the reason might be that
10-3.
they're kind of reeling a little bit, losing 3 in a row. For a while there, we weren't sure if anybody was going to even challenge Team Saskatchewan, and all of a sudden, they were one win yesterday. If BC wins that last game, I think Saskatchewan would have been out. So fortunate to be here, but certainly deserving. There was one
Whoa,
more
whoa, 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 whoa.
tribute for those who
Nice
missed
throws,
it
Julie.
yesterday. Al Hackner playing in his last competitive game, wearing the Northern Ontario colors. Going to step away from competitive curling. They honored him yesterday. Pretty cool. All the players came over before his last game and surrounded the sheet as Al and Stu did the announcements together to start that draw. And he was again honored in the lounge at the hotel last night.
No.
You know, he
No.
he was joking. There's
Hard, Patty.
people who are great at this game on the ice, and there's
Hard for a
people who are
piece.
great at this game off the ice. But he says very few people are great at both. And certainly Al has always been great at both.
Okay.
And I always believed that that was a big part of the game. And he said that last night. It's not just about the wins and losses and the competition. It's about the camaraderie and the friendships that he's built all across Canada, all around the world over the last, I don't even want to know, I guess it's been 50 years for Al, which is pretty impressive. So a hit and roll out from Team Saskatchewan. Helen Radford being asked to throw the out turn. I assume they're going to draw into the rings. Well, it looks like they were hoping for that to stop. Throwing the corner guard. I like the call. A little bit heavy. And part of the reason I like the call is I've seen a lot of missed blank attempts. So if there's a chance, if you don't feel extremely confident that you're going to make that blank, 99 times out of 100, 95 times out of 100, then playing this open game, I know you want to put the hammer on the board. You want to make it count. But I just always hate getting forced to one when we didn't even take a chance at a deuce. So we'll see if Nova Scotia can make these hits and see if Teresa, I fully expect Teresa can make that blank. That's not what I'm saying, but it'll be interesting to see if they get after it in the second end. Only 8 end games here at the seniors. Our national championship for men's and ladies is still 10 ends, which feels like a long, long time because all the tour events we play in, the only events that are 10 ends are the national championships. The play down process to get there does feel like a long time. Maybe that's just showing my age and how close I am to being eligible to compete in this championship. Nothing happening in the Alberta-Manitoba men's game. Same situation as here, hitting up and down. Fulfilling those stereotypes that the Manitobans and Albertans like to hit up and down the sheet. That's completely not true and hasn't been for a long time, but that used to be the stigma. But as always, Team Nova Scotia rocks everywhere. Lots going on over there. Nova Scotia versus Ontario. And a few rocks in play. Quebec versus Ontario on the ladies' side here. Quebec with the hammer. And looks to be lying one buried and attempting to draw another one in there. So Ontario and Joanne Rizzo in a little bit of trouble in the first end.
Yep. Clean.
Wayne Madaw's theory was always in the first end, this is as good as the ice is going to be, number one. So let's get after it while the ice is good. Good news for Wayne was they were almost always the best team on the sheet, no matter who they were playing. So he felt like his team you couldn't lose the game in the first end, even if things went badly, but he felt like he could almost win it with a deuce or even a 3. A quick start, getting down to a team like that.
Yep.
So every team has to decide,
Hard.
how much risk do we want to take on the first
guys.
end? How comfortable are we? How fast do we start? Lots of teams struggle with a slow start.
Good. Good sweep.
Which there's really no excuse for it. You've been playing on this ice all week. You get practice.
Good shots, Patty.
You know what you need to do to be ready.
10-2. That was better weight.
Yet there are certain teams, and I've been a part of a couple of them, especially recently, that don't start very fast. And if you know that about your opponent, it's one more reason to get aggressive in the first end. So, hit and stay again. Patty Hurstcorn made her hit and stays. Mary Sue Radford the same. We're down to skip rocks here. Maybe they're trying to bank some time. These games are are timed.
Everyone's thrown great.
It's one of the theories behind the idea of timing per end. If you're asking me, and I know nobody is, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I got the mic, I think that's a terrible idea to time the ends. We've done it a few times, and all it leads to is rushing constantly. No different than equal time for first 4 ends. We tried at the points bet, and equal time for the second 4 ends. I don't understand it. All it does is eliminate those conversations that I think are a huge part of our game. One of the advantages, we get to hear the players talk when there's a tricky situation, and if we're always rushed, it just completely changes the game for, in my opinion, no real reason.
Right out.
Right here? Oh, sorry.
So
Right
we
here?
did get a rollout, and kind of a slight chance here for Teresa to at least draw over near that, half corner guard. Have to be in the rings here. Don't want to be short for sure, and give Sherry the opportunity to come around it, but also don't want to be heavy and through the rings and then show Sherry the path, because then Sherry will certainly be close to making the come around. Teresa Breen, longtime Nova Scotia resident now, but
Wood first.
played for years out of Ontario with lots of success. Playing third for Ann Merklinger.
No, well, no. 1485.
Yep, take it back. Yep. Yep, take it right back. Nice weight, Teresa.
So good effort there. Again, didn't want to take on too much risk by getting too close to that guard.
Yours didn't go crazy in practice there, did it?
So a chance here for Sherry if she can make. I know it's a very precise shot for the first end, but in a fairly new spot. But a hit and roll to a biter here on the edge of the 12 foot.
The broom would be okay.
Oh, she's saying a roll towards the broom. Not sure why she wouldn't give it a shot to roll buried and get a cheeky little force. Lots of room by the guard.
Yep. 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 No.
What way do you want to come at this?
Okay, good hit and stay there from
You want
Sherry.
to
And
throw firm? Okay.
Teresa being asked for the blank. Heard last night,
No, it's okay.
admittedly I haven't watched all of the Canadian finals in the seniors in the last few years, but Saskatchewan, 2 of their 4 wins, apparently they were down in the final, substantially down, and managed to come back. So having that experience to draw on is super valuable.
Good throwing, guys. Good throwing, Brenda. I think if we can, we'll try to take the two curls a little bit so we can get the other one.
Well, either one for you. No,
Yeah.
I'm talking hits.
Oh, I see.
Not the straight one where you set it 2 inches.
Yeah.
It's not doing
Yep.
anything.
Clean, 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 clean.
And we've got a
clean.
blank in the first end. No harm done.
Oh, shit.
Oh, we've got a swear jar addition. But it did roll out and a blank end, so nothing. Nova Scotia will retain last rock,
the
head
end.
into the second end. We'll be right back.
Yeah, great throw. Good first end, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if they go, okay, we'll go around.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
And we're back, folks. A slow start on the center sheet. On a blank end, though, a comfortable start for both teams.
Line's good.
A little more action on a couple of the other
Line's
sheets.
really good.
Team Quebec, Chantal Osborne lying 2.
Running a bit.
Joanne Rizzo, skip of Ontario, is going to be asked
Yeah,
to make a
real
freeze
close.
back 8 foot to take away a
Quite
multiple
close, yep.
score.
Yep.
So pressure on Ontario early. I didn't see the shot, but the Alberta-Manitoba men's game was
Really
wide
nice,
open,
good
and
way.
Manitoba ended up scoring one. So I assume Randy was unsuccessful in making the blank attempt, because I don't imagine anybody flashed an open hit. So Alberta with the hammer, down 1-0, playing the second end. And Nova Scotia and Glen McLeod are throwing a hit against 2. Rocks everywhere early in the end, but Nova Scotia couldn't get one that Ontario couldn't find and remove. In this feature game, we had a center guard, and if you heard Helen Radford say to the girls before, if they throw it short, we'll just go straight around it. So Julie McMullen being asked to make the come around. A lot of line, really needs to curl here to get buried. So a chance for a hit and roll here. Anita can see all of this plus, so probably about a board weight, chance to roll right to the button.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard, guys, quick.
This one's curling.
Whoa. Patty, Patty.
A little oversweep from Sherry
Nice
there, but
show.
a good shot. Rolls at least partially behind the center guard. Helen's going to ask Julie to chase that. Should have a pretty good idea just watching Anita throw that exact same shot.
Squeaky.
Just hack is the call out of her hand, so this might curl a little more than expected. Looks to be on a pretty good line. Here comes Quebec's last shot. Joanne Rizzo did come up with the freeze, and I think Quebec actually playing soft weight. Looked to me like they should throw it hard, and they would have got 2, and I think they're going to go up steal here. No, they're not. I think I'm wrong again.
Just bump, Brenda. Right on the nose is good.
Looks like a fantastic shot for 3. I didn't even think that was possible. Somehow, Chantal Osborne continues to fly under the radar, only having lost 1 game and off to a hot start here in the semifinal. Everybody's still talking about Sherry Anderson and Team Nova Scotia, the hometown team, and the 4-time reigning champions.
Nice.
Hit and stay. Important for Nova Scotia to continue to hit and stay, as Sherry's team would like nothing more than to get a free draw around that center guard. If Team Saskatchewan rolls out ever, I'm fairly certain you're going to see Nova Scotia hit the guard. And nobody in this booth wants to see that.
Curl.
And there it is, and you can hear the disappointment in Helen's voice there. She knows that's an opportunity now for Saskatchewan. So, Brenda Gertzen, free come around. Great chance to put a little pressure on Nova Scotia here in the second end. She can draw right to the button buried. They've seen this shot. Sherry suggesting that it's
Line's
wider than
good.
she wanted right away.
Looks like enough. Reassess. Where? Patty's rock. Patty's rock. Bite the 4.
Now
Still
they're
got
liking
room.
it. Line looks perfect.
Yeah, I just had a little outward motion on it.
Nice shots, Brenda.
Okay, let's
And a
run
great
back or
shot
peel.
there from
Yep.
Brenda.
Sure.
So Teresa and Helen settling on the run back. You hear Helen say, run it back or just peel it off. It is possible to jam this, hit it on the
Peel it.
nose.
Peel it. Yep. Yep.
So she got that one outside. Back-to-back out turns that But Helen got a little bit wide on release by the sounds of it. Something to watch as the game goes on. Pretty normal. Most players' out turns run a lot straighter than their in turns, and if they're going to miss an out turn, it's going to be wide. In turn is typically the opposite. So Patty Hersecorn here being asked for the out turn guard. Just replace that one.
Line's good.
Patty plays a lot. She plays mixed doubles with Stephen Laycock out of Saskatchewan, and they've had some success. I would anticipate they've probably qualified for the national championship in March.
Clean. 15-7-5. I got 15-4 and Brenda sliding nice there.
So always talking about the speed. So another chance here. Mary Sue will be asked to make the double.
Her hair less ice, and then she took a little less, so I was afraid, but I didn't want you to hit it for weight.
Always interesting to hear the communication of teams, how they talk to each other, what they talk about, and then some teams that just don't seem to talk about much. I was chatting with Al Hackner about that last night in the lounge, and he's coached over the years, and when you miss a shot, there needs to be some conversation as to what happened. And speaking of missing a shot, they've walked away from this one. That's the Cardinals' sin. I know you don't want to think about hitting the guard when you're chasing that one. You want to make the shot, but you can't sail by both
Let's
there.
just go here, Patty.
So Team Saskatchewan going to throw the guard. I wonder if you'll see Team Nova Scotia switch gears here. That red one in the rings is just full 8. There will be a chance to draw around this one or the in-turn side to the 4-foot and be shot rock. And get out of trouble, number 1, and set up a deuce.
Well, have a look. Have a look. It's running out here. Brenda. Okay, line's good.
Couple of claps in the crowd there. Chris Fulton, second for Team Ontario, makes a run back double. His into theirs, splits 2 of theirs off, but Nova Scotia still
Really
drawing
good.
to lie 2. A good guard there. So there's definitely no chase. So are they going to draw? Or they're going to stick with the run back now.
Good shots. Could have had him on it a little sooner, I guess.
Wants to hit about probably 2/3 of this and make the double across the top. That will lose her shooter as well and open up the rings. Looks close. I think that's over curling, actually. They're going to play the nose now. Lost it a bit. That one really came up. Much better, though. Now that yellow's very usable.
Well,
Gets the one out of the 8-foot into the 12-foot.
That's what I gave you.
But still advantage Saskatchewan here. Sherry will be close on this come round. Sherry's been a great player for a long, long time. Played in a million Scotties, Olympic trials,
Top. Full 4.
skins game. She's played in it all over the years.
Yeah. I gave it an ad, but still probably can go.
Good information there from Sherry. I always want to hear from the thrower on a draw shot.
Room!
I have an opinion, what I see,
Room!
but nobody should know better than the thrower. So she's yelling room, but the sweepers are still going, which means they think it's light.
Bite the 4, yes!
Line's
right
really-
to the 4-foot.
Line's
go!
really good. Left it a little bit short there, but Sherry lets it go and lets the sweepers know exactly what she thinks. Doesn't mean we're always going to listen to the thrower, but I'd like to know. It's usually just, reconfirms things. So switching gears here for Nova Scotia, trying to make a skip's deuce, asking Teresa to make the draw around to the 4-foot, buried behind the yellow one. Really expecting this to curl. You can see that's out just outside middle of the 12-foot, so they need this to curl over 5 feet to get buried behind that yellow one, and it's important that that one's a yellow one now.
Well, she's got
Even when we don't make the runbacks perfectly, at least changing the color of the guard is important.
kind of what I was trying to throw.
So Teresa did get to throw a draw on the first end of the wing. Waiting on this one. This one's out there. Should curl, but this one really needs to curl to get buried. Here it comes. Weight looks close. Not going to get shot rock, though. Uh-oh, and this is going to leave a chance for Sherry to nose that and
Just a nice 10 there, Patty.
really leave Nova Scotia almost no way in. Nobody wants to play that tap on the center one against 3 red counters.
Right on the nose there, guys.
You see a little pep in Sherry's step here. She knows this is a huge opportunity. I know they're not in the 4-foot, but
Nice 10.
if Nova Scotia doesn't have a path to the 4-foot, it doesn't really matter where they are. Nice 10, just kind of a control weight. Right on the nose. Sherry's always been a great hitter.
Clean!
This looks good. Oh, it does need to curl. That's running on them a little bit. That's perfect. So you can see the dilemma for Team Nova Scotia.
Sorry, I didn't slide so great.
Sherry's saying, sorry, I made it perfect.
2 in a row. I'm so excited. 2 more than I had since both the 4th and yesterday.
So obviously Sherry didn't finish the game as strong as she wanted to yesterday, poking a little fun at herself.
Yes.
So here we go. Outturn draw against 3, having to go wider, much wider. So, but they're not taking, so on the intern side, they took just outside middle to draw the center line. Here they got to draw the side of the 4-foot, so 2 feet wider, and they're taking 4 inches more ice on this side. So they must think it's much, much straighter over here. Here we go, key shot of the game to this point.
Saying, give me less ice, because the sweep can hold them so much good, too.
So Teresa has been close on both draws she's thrown. This one is out there. Definitely not a line problem in terms of, ooh, this one's close to the boards. This needs to curl to get 3rd shot. I don't think so, folks. That looks like it might be a 3 steal.
Good end, ladies. Good throwing.
Wow. That had to be partially, was a little bit heavy, but to get it on that line had to be, maybe they must know Teresa's outturn is much straighter than her intern, but having a long look here.
Everybody made good shots. That's what happens when you make 8 shots in an end.
There you go from Sherry, right?
I don't think it's even close, but I think it's 3, but
So you heard it here first. Sherry thinks they've stolen 3.
no, I don't
And
think
she says that's what can happen when you make 8 shots in an end.
it's okay. They're right. They can measure. Ice is nice this morning.
Sherry's chatting with the fans, the umpires.
That lady's name.
I'd be in a great mood too if I just stole 3 in the second end of the Canadian semifinal. Here it comes. We can't see what's happening. Just watch the body language. Usually the person who's standing the closest is excited, and then the other team standing back kind of suggests that they're not very excited. Oh, that's a delay of game penalty. That wasn't even close. That's 3 red and a steal of 3 for Saskatchewan, and a huge swing of momentum early in this game. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be back for the third end to see if Nova Scotia can right the ship.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Line's good.
Welcome back, and a big swing in momentum, a massive steal of 3 points for Saskatchewan, and a 3-0 lead here. And all of a sudden, I've been in this situation. I've been in most situations over the years, and it's not a good feeling, folks. I know how Nova Scotia's feeling, and it's disbelief, probably a little bit of anger, a little bit of confusion, but as I mentioned yesterday, they got to be where their feet are. They got to find a way to, you don't have to get it all back at once. Find a way to make a few shots here, maybe try and put an end together, put some pressure on Saskatchewan, and, you know, it would be great to score a deuce. A 3 would be magical or more, but a deuce would really, you know, right the ship, give them some confidence, and see if they can get back in this game. But Saskatchewan's not a team with their experience and talent. You don't want to get too far behind here.
Easy, 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 easy.
Other updates, Team Quebec versus Team Ontario on the ladies' side. Looks like Ontario was forced to win in a dream start for Chantal Osborne and her ladies from Quebec, up 3-1 with the hammer, playing the third end and playing very well. Chantal made a double on her first to take away a deuce from Team Ontario. On the men's side, James Paul and Team Alberta were forced to win in the second end. Oh, this corner guard slid into the rings. Might have jammed it, though. Quite a start to this end, folks.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. I hope you weren't off getting your morning coffee. Helen's going to stick with the corner guard. I'm not a huge fan of this call. I like guarding the center one. I know it's on the button. It's a center guard you're throwing, but Sherry's just going to nose that one, and then I guess Nova Scotia's going to come around the corner, so it's fine. My thought would be
Line's tighter.
I like a guard, but my thought would be to guard the center one. On the men's side, I said Alberta forced to one, but a great situation early in end number 3 for Alberta. They got one frozen on the button and shooting. So see what happens there. And Team Ontario answers with a deuce. Howard Rahala and the fellas from the Ottawa area are up 2-1. Nova Scotia with the hammer in the third end. So a couple tight games on the men's side. Ladies' games are, they're still close. Nothing's been decided, but Ontario and Nova Scotia are pushing uphill for sure. So Julie's second guard was better, but it's way over there and still very, very tight. I'd like to see that about 4 feet higher and a foot closer to center.
Yeah, that was, I threw up a little in my mouth.
I'm not sure what she's referring to there. Maybe a bad throw. Never good when you make your skip throw up in her mouth. So here comes the come around. Oh, no, going to throw another corner guard. Okay. I don't know if that's because they're not happy with that one, but it's a good call. You're going to see Saskatchewan try and peel it. At some point, they're going to go around that other corner guard if Saskatchewan is successful. This one is, by the look of the sweepers, this one's in the house. Needs to slow down. Nova Scotia not really picking up on draw weight here. So Sherry asking Brenda Gertzen here, let's hit and stay. Right on the nose would be okay. Don't want to jam it. Don't want to over curl, but you got to over curl by quite a bit to jam this.
Hard.
But hard early makes it sound like there's a chance.
Hard. Well. Yep. Yep.
No, it's perfect.
Roll it, Patty. Okay. Good shot. Nice throw it, Brenda.
So what are you thinking, Tracy? I like that call. Draw around that one. Helen doesn't look sure of this, though. Taking a while to get into the hack, but here she comes. So she just needs to throw a couple feet more weight than she just threw. Very similar line, and get this back 8 foot buried would be ideal. Mary Sue and Julie like the weight, but they're sweeping for line. Now saying line only. Got to get this one by. Don't think it's by. Oh, disaster. Nothing going Nova Scotia's way here, and Saskatchewan just not having to deal with any pressure at this point. All you're ever trying to do out here in this silly game is put pressure on your opponents. Give them hard shots that are costly to miss. You do that enough times, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yes. Hard. Hard.
Really want to stay here, probably right on the nose, or even a little wiggle under would be fine. And see Sherry saying, whoa, she didn't want to stay behind that one for the freeze. See if Mary Sue can make this come around that Helen was close to making, her sister.
Room! Let it get off center. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sweepers aren't listening, which means it's light. We got to go. It doesn't look that light to me, however. Oh, they're right. Needs to curl.
If you're going back, go back. Go back.
It needs to be back behind the tee line. That's where you want it.
I got it, I got it, I got it.
Same weight. I'll give you a little more ice.
So didn't get it buried again. This is at least a more challenging shot, but Patty just saw this path. She played it on her first one. So hit and roll to the center line would be ideal. You can hear in the other games, even the sweeping, the line calling intensity, they've saved some energy for playoff Saturday.
Hard.
Really trying to work this one over. Want to stay in the rings. Gonna roll out, but has removed it. No real harm done, but Mary Sue with a very, very good idea of how to make this shot. Just threw it. Just needs to probably throw it a little bit harder so that it doesn't need swept early.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it would come off the line. It did.
Line's good.
So they like the line.
Close. Yep.
Not
Yep.
worried about speed
Hard
yet.
line. Hard line.
Teresa trying to hold this one.
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, it's wrecking.
Nice weight.
Right on the nose.
And a full-on mental battle for Nova Scotia here. Not
Well,
because
we
they're
can roll like to here.
not because they're performing poorly or throwing the rock poorly. They've been close on a lot of shots, but nothing seems to be working out, and it's pretty easy to get into that, well, this isn't our day mentality. You know,
We
up
can roll
against
a
the
smidge into center with a good
four-time
execution.
champs and not going well early, not really making what they want, even though they're close.
It's fine.
I think the first one you guys just swept it right away and just kind of held it over there for a while. Second one you didn't, so it's just different break point.
Yeah, sweeping can affect the break point on draws, especially that early sweeping. So fooled them a little bit because their weight's close. She's actually a little bit light, if anything. We heard
Soft.
James Paul last night talk about these rocks as well. I think that they were yellow. I don't remember though. I'm making that up to be honest with you, but the 3 and the 6,
All right. Yep.
whatever color James Paul was, he thought they were both cutters. So that could be the 6, that yellow that
Sorry, Patty.
Mary Sue just threw.
Threw it kind of a dead hand.
Not sure what Sherry's sorry about there. I mean, she has the run backs, I believe. I don't think they're hooked. Let's see if Teresa can make this come around. And at least make Sherry make a run back or a freeze. Got to be shot rock. Buried.
Just took it all plus.
Whoa, at first if you can.
This one's out there. Teresa's out turn's going backwards a little bit early today so
Line's
far.
good. Line's good.
They like the line now though. Got to keep it going for
Let me jump in, let me
line
jump
and weight.
Yep.
Further it goes, the more it'll curl now. Just not quite hard enough. And I think the easiest shot for Sherry is going to be to hit that red one, but she disagrees with me. She's going to chase it. She can see just all of the rock, so nothing wrong with this call. Nova Scotia obviously made a shot. I heard some thumping and banging.
Yeah, but see where she hit on her
Brenda,
second
you
one,
can
she
roll
moved
it over to the
where you had to come around more. So
open on the side of the 4-foot would be good. A little more weight.
What a shot from Chantal Osborne's third.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Team Quebec
Okay, good throw.
has Ontario in a little bit of trouble again, but Ontario does have it out to draw to the back of the button.
Sorry?
So Sherry probably would love to roll to the other side of the 4-foot. I think Teresa's going to hit this one wherever it is,
Brenda!
unless she rolls, you know, into the 12-foot or something. But Sherry's really protected here. She might have jammed this. I think she jammed this. Oh, she flashed it.
9.
Wow. And there's the break Nova Scotia needed.
That wasn't very well. Full and strong.
So she's wide and heavy.
Back at it.
Really bad combination there from Sherry. Might have been that top red one in her eye. I still, in my eye, it looked easier to just hit that red one top 12, hit it high. Really anywhere high, you would have made it, but that's totally personal preference. So now, a gift from the gods, as they would say. Teresa throwing a lot of draws so far this game, which is nice to have your skip throwing lots of draws.
T.
They like it early.
Easy, easy, easy. Okay.
And that's going to be 2 points on the board for Nova Scotia, and we got a game, folks. That wasn't looking good
Thanks,
that end
Teresa.
either.
2 yellow.
Big mistake from skip Sherry Anderson, and here comes the Nova Scotia crowd. It's 3-2 heading to the 4th end. Saskatchewan will have the hammer when we'll be right back.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back, folks. So some deuces come out of thin air, and that was certainly the case in the third end there for Team Nova Scotia, but already can see the shoulders coming back and a little bit of hope back in their eyes. So didn't play a very good end. I mean, we're close on a lot of shots, but nothing worked out. Sometimes the best thing is to catch a big break and have the other team miss, and that's exactly what Sherry did. She'll be thinking about that, but she has to shake it off, and up one with the hammer when you started without is still a great situation. It's just sometimes hard to remind yourself of that when you were stole 3 and then gave them an absolutely phantom deuce. So we've got action here. think Quebec, Ontario team here. Chantal had a great chance. I think her first rock just picked. Unfortunately, she was throwing a hit to really put Ontario in trouble, but picked and overcurled everything. So unfortunate news there. Manitoba forced to 1 versus Alberta. 2-1 Alberta, or sorry, 2-1 Manitoba playing the fourth end. James Paul with the hammer.
Only right now. You got lots of room. Whoa.
James and the Alberta team, one of the only teams that throws a corner guard pretty much no matter what.
Just bite 4. Should be fine.
And Nova Scotia, Ontario just finishing up the third end, and Howard Rahala needs to make a nose double, about a 6-foot double, or he's going to probably give up 2 to Nova Scotia here. But back on the feature sheet, a good start there. Center guard from Nova Scotia. Julie McMullen, great shot, and then Anita answers with a come around perfectly to the top 4 foot. So Helen Radford asking Julie to make that intern freeze. A good shot, didn't quite curl enough.
Back line's good.
Always felt like maybe it's because I played with and learned the game basically from Glenn Howard and Rich Hart. I always felt like these were the shots that won and lost you games. It's the soft shots, getting the weight right, setting up those extra points.
Whoa. Whoa.
So being asked to throw back line here.
Is it more than back line?
That's a good question. And the reason she's asking, because if it is, it's not going to curl. Close. So not exactly what they wanted, but that's not too bad. Weight was really good.
Okay.
Good talk, Mary Sue.
Control.
You can see here they're trying to get it to curl at the end, asking Brenda to carve it over there with some directional sweeping that we think works, but we don't really know. Looks like it does to me. All the sweeping chatter. The challenge with testing sweeping is every time you test and sweep, you've changed the ice. Sounds close here. Just on the nose, but a good shot.
Just bump, Brenda.
So now Saskatchewan asking for the hit and roll behind the guard. Looks like Ontario has stolen one on Quebec. They're looking close, bringing out the measuring stick, but Ontario was pretty sure it was them. Could be some gamesmanship. I doubt it.
Hard.
Got this one a little tight. Brenda's got this one inside, but going after the roll. Big sigh there, which doesn't tell me it's very good.
No, I don't want to really roll it.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I don't know why you don't want to roll it there. I think that's a great shot. If that red one wasn't there, sure, I'd agree, but that's a really good result, I think. You can see on the roll here,
Line the draw.
right to the side of the button. I get what Sherry's saying. I mean, they make a freeze here, and now the scoring area is really closed down, but somebody was going to get to that spot. You might as well be there first. When it was Quebec winning that measure, interesting. Pretty rare that somebody would tap their rock and say it's us and then not win the measure. Huh, I like it though. Trying to win the game. This one looks perfect. Want this one to over curl the nose if you could. Just like that. And that's why Sherry didn't like that. Really closing down the scoring area for her.
Shot.
But you can see the problem. Where do you get the second one in there? And
I think just tap it to there.
yeah, I think so too. Ultimately, the odds of that red one staying there with the yellow one on top of it, the odds of it still being there late in the end when we're only halfway through, pretty slim. Probably going to get moved at some point. This one's really curling,
Hard,
folks.
guys, quick!
Don't want to cross this and bump it to a spot to hit and roll for the double, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, disaster. And as we've seen in every game we've covered, massive momentum swing here. Mary Sue needs to make this, but if she hits about a half a rock, they're going to lie 3 and 2 of them on the button behind a center guard. Just trying to figure out the turn, I think. Oh, I think you want to take on the double here, but hit and roll is fine too. So it is 4-1 Quebec over Ontario. Ontario with the hammer in the fourth end. Joanne Rizzo and her team need to make something happen. Oh, and Nova Scotia missed a massive opportunity. Had an open hit for 2, and I don't know what happened, but they only got 1. 2-2 Ontario with the hammer in the fourth in the men's side. Here comes the double, trying to hold it. Huge opportunity here. And that's not a good result. It was close.
Just pop that. Hit it on the inside. Try to get that out of the forefoot.
And it
Think
swings.
you can give me like a 9, Patty?
Swings back in Saskatchewan's favor here. Just trying to get this close to the guard. Any roll under, even if you just rolled an inch or two and sat right beside that yellow, would be very good. If you could ever bump it open, that would be fantastic. Patty Hursticorn here with the in-turn.
Whoa!
Sounded like she put that one back.
Hard!
This one's really got a
hard,
curl.
Hard, Anita, hard. Okay, that's good.
Not bad at all. See,
Fine.
lonely yellow in there. It's in a great spot, but not a comfortable situation for Nova Scotia. Got to make a play on it. Can see the replay here. Patty just gets to the nose, maybe a little wiggle towards the center line. If that curls a half an inch, it rolls right on the corner of the yellow, and this shot is not available. So hack weight, hit and roll, same kind of idea that Patty just tried. Just roll like 2 inches to the inside maybe. You could roll right on top of the yellow too, that would be great. Probably better actually. If you don't roll far enough here, you're gonna see Sherry play that red one top 8 into this shooter here. So you wanna roll right on the yellow. This one's gotta come up. It's a good shot. That slash I was talking about is not very easy at all, not really even there, so they're not gonna see Sherry play that. She's got to try and get to the nose here.
You're just going to jam this here, but come and have a quick look.
Both teams uncomfortable here, as you can hear. I mean, not sure who I'd rather be at this point. I guess Saskatchewan because they have the hammer. Patty's got to make a tough one here, though.
To the nose of it.
She's got to get to the nose.
Same kind of weight, and if you peel the guard, that's not such a bad thing, right?
Okay, so you want me to throw 9 again?
I think because we can't guard. She's got to tap, right?
Okay.
So if you say you almost have all of it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I think they were talking about throwing a 9, which this looks like a back line shot to me, or a hack weight shot. Maybe she thinks she can kind of nose it and jiggle that yellow. She sure does, which probably is possible, but most times you're going to kill shot rock and leave yellow shot with a center guard and shooting.
Yes, hard, hard.
This one sounds like it's on the guard.
Good. Okay. Shot.
So what do you do if you're Nova Scotia? I think you probably want to hit that red one.
Nice.
Hit and roll past yours.
Curl just another inch and just corners on it.
Play that too, right on the nose and try and get it, but if you don't want to free that one up too far. I personally like the hit on the top one, the top red one, and roll past your top yellow one, or even just roll right on top of it. Don't want to get unlucky and line something up, but
Well, she could just nose double ours out. I'm gonna have to make a couple of doubles, but at least I should be able to score.
so you can hear Sherry.
The other way, if they tap with that guard up there, I can't score.
They are in a little bit of trouble, as you can hear her say. I might have to make some doubles, but I should be able to score.
Lost Brenda's. I would have had you sweeping it. Would have been fine.
So Nova Scotia not quite sure what they're going to do here. I don't know if their mics are working. Can't tell you.
Well, and it wasn't so bad. Like, it wasn't so bad that it. No, it was heavy. It was the line.
Not sure what they decided on, folks. Now I'm sure. Yeah, I like this shot. I don't know if she's trying to make the double. If she hits it.
If she makes that, I'll have to try to get the one off the button. If I can, make a double and open up the scoring area.
Looks like she's playing the shot I thought she might. Hit and roll kind of to the broom. You don't want to hit and roll to a super easy double, but
things at the back a little bit because it's not good. I didn't want Brenda's to roll to the middle. I wanted it to roll away.
it's got to come up to stay in the rings. Definitely want to stick around here. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So you can see Saskatchewan's dilemma. What do they play here?
I'm just going to jam that.
I think you might want to just play the double on the top two, hard in the crotch. You're going to leave yellow shot, but if you can probably kill two yellows.
Third.
Then you're going to have an open hit against two. You try something fancy here, you might get yourself in trouble.
I'd like to be right here. Yeah, I know. How does that look with
So she's
like
playing the hit and roll in for third shot.
I think so. Guys, I'd like to roll it so we're third shot. Full 8, out of the way, over your side, but keep it full 8.
So if they,
I'm just going to throw like bump, I think.
the danger here is not rolling far enough or rolling too far. This is a very precise shot because if she just rolls a rocker, so they might leave a nose hit for Nova Scotia to lie 3, and that'd be very difficult for Sherry to get into the forefoot to score a point. If she rolls too far, she's going to leave a nose hit to lie 3 and potentially impossible to score a point.
Hard!
Got this one really inside. This is a disaster. Oh, it's not a disaster. Accidentally, not bad at all.
Not so bad.
Deserved a lot worse there.
Sorry, Patty.
You
No.
can see on the replay, like she missed this by a full rock on the line, but actually stayed shot. She was so light, didn't kill her red one. So is Teresa playing the freeze? Looks like it. Good opportunity here, but a very precise shot coming up from Nova Scotia.
She makes it perfect.
If she makes it perfect, it's a steal of 1, Sherry. You're not going to get to shoot, I don't think. But if she bumps it at all, you might have a double for 1. It's a good opportunity here for Nova Scotia. Teresa, this is where she threw that draw in the second end that really tracked on her. This one's still way out there. Really got a curl here. The weight looks close. Still got a curl. Pretty good. Boy, if that curls a little bit more, looks like Sherry can.
Draw it to there and move it here.
She could make this for 2. I was thinking she'd throw the hit on the nose on that one and just take her 1, but it's not super easy.
There,
But
Patty. I'm just gonna throw like. I'll try to throw T-line on its own and let them sweep it.
so a perfect throw here will get them 2 points. Just want to throw kind of like back. Throw
Their
T-line.
shot. So we can just get to the inside.
Yeah, it's definitely
Move
there
it,
for 2.
Couple inches is all we got to do. Miss the top center line. I'm just going to throw T-line and let you guys sweep it. Well, that's 15 on its own.
In order to get the line perfect, you're going to have to get the weight perfect here. Get the weight right, you'll be able to manipulate it with the sweeping. Overthrow it, it won't curl enough. Underthrow it, and it's not going to get there.
Weight only.
5 out of her hand, that's not enough.
Weight only right now.
Really got to hope that they're wrong.
Where?
Still light, Sherry.
Curl!
Oh, did she get it? The shooter did not get in there. Looks early like it's a steal, and we might have a tie game here, folks. Great effort from Sherry Anderson. The sweepers
Close, is it?
Sweepers knew
Sorry?
early it was a little light, so we're going end to end.
Could have given them a.
That's one of my, I wouldn't call it a pet peeve, but when the sweepers sweep it out of your hand and you're saying got a curl and the sweepers are still sweeping and then you ask them where is it, I think you know it's light. Sometimes communication can add confusion. It's supposed to do the opposite.
Yeah, we throw that back 8 and hit it on the outside and give them about.
Sherry knew if I overthrew that and hit it high, it could have been bad. I don't think she was ever going to steal more than 1, but
I think it's that close.
Sherry thinks we have a tie game.
Yeah.
I agree with her, and so does the official. We got a tie game, folks. Nova Scotia with a big steal, waking up the crowd again. And we're going to go to the break tied at 3. When we come back in the 5th end, Saskatchewan will have the hammer and needs to stop the oil leak here.
It's a beautiful blend of strategy, skill, and creativity. Curling. But it's our people that make us great. We're a mosaic of countless experiences. We communicate and collaborate. We value new ideas and different perspectives.
I like it.
We learn from our past and from our future. We may even disagree sometimes, but it's in our differences that we can see our strengths. The beauty of our sport is reflected in our people and our values. Regardless of your ethnicity or gender, your abilities, your stage in life, your beliefs, or who you love. The rocks and the ice don't discriminate. And as curlers, we won't either. We will be the change that we want to see in the world. Curling is a place for everyone.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
It's time to experience the wonder and excitement of Yarmouth and Acadian shores. Stay at one of the many charming accommodations, adventure along the ocean coast, or just be cozy by the fire and enjoy some of the darkest and clearest skies in North America. This December, be a part of the action with the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship. You'll find all of this and so much more with your special getaway in Yarmouth and Acadian shores.
Welcome back, folks. We've got a tie ball game here. You can see some of the rowdy Nova Scotia fans there. A couple of the wives of Team Nova Scotia who are trailing 3-2, playing the fifth end with the hammer when they come back after the break. Another update there from Manitoba, Alberta, James Paul. They blanked the fourth end. So Alberta with the hammer trailing 2-1 against undefeated Manitoba, playing the fifth end. Our game, of course, is tied, and big shot coming here. I gotta say, I've seen Team Ontario on this sheet with the handles twice, and I'm seeing a lot of red lights, but the lights are not in play, luckily for Joanne Rizzo, because that one was flashing red too. Not sure what's happened there. It looks like another measure in the Quebec-Ontario game, but it looks like at least one for Ontario. Maybe two to go. It's either a 4-2 or a 4-3 game, I think, folks, going into the fourth end break. So lots of close games. Championship Saturday here from the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. Everest Funeral Concierge, the title sponsor, has been for a couple of years since they've taken it over. This event has gone to new, oh goodness, oh, we might have some controversy here. I hope not. Oh, no, we do. I think we do. This is why I don't like the officials measuring. So the official came out and dropped the measuring stick, and I think it hit one of the rocks.
What happens in that instant?
Yeah, I know.
So that's going to be a no measure. If that's the case, that's going to be... They're going to have to call that measure a tie and just, oh, goodness. Anyway, back to our game. I don't want to deal with that, folks. That's why the players should do the measuring. And then if I screw it up, at least I know that the other team wins the measure.
Line's great.
Feel terrible for the official.
Line's great.
Anyway.
Easy.
Focus, Brent. Sheet C, 3-3.
Nice way, Julie.
Really nice, Julie.
Huge momentum swings. Nova Scotia now got a little bit of a bump in their step. Nice center guard from Julie McMullen, and now we'll see Anita Silvernagel, intern, come around.
Line's good.
I think this is Robin Silvernagel's mom. She can't be old enough to be Robin's mom, but I think it is. Robin being an elite player in her own right out of Saskatchewan.
8 or 9, back 8.
Nice to see her back in the game after taking some time for family, much needed. A little bit heavy, and we do see that a lot. In the fifth end, and sorry, I'm really distracted by this Quebec-Ontario game. You can see the teams are off on the sides now, huddling up, and it's a terrible situation for everyone, but Quebec's off talking as if to think, well,
close for line.
And knowing Chantal, they might come back and say, look, we thought you were shot, take the point. I don't know what's going on there, but a terrible situation.
Okay, come to this one then. Oh, yeah.
It's a little heavy, but you know what? I don't like the straight come around without the hammer there, because then Saskatchewan freezes, and that back one's It's amazing how much that back 12, back 8 come around by a lead counts for the second or third point.
Looks like more. No line whatsoever.
Try and keep you updated on the
Back
other
here.
sheets. Still talking about the measure. Clearly,
Yep.
that's what has happened, though.
Yep. Right back. Right back. Right to it. Kicked out hard on that one. Okay.
So not what they wanted, but interesting start to this end. Lots of rocks gathering at the back of the house. We see that a lot in the fifth end. I know I'm a broken record. Two things I say a lot, certainly, and everybody's heavy in the fifth end. So they've called this one top button, and again, I still don't like the top button call here. I think without the hammer, you got to be a little defensive here and play that freeze down to the back one. This looks like a good shot, though. Exactly what they called for. Great shot by Helen Radford. Sherry's not going to play the freeze and set it up.
Just throw bump.
She's going to play the hit and roll on
Throw
the
bump and try to get on the rings
center
here.
guard. This is a tough one to roll into the rings. I think if you want to roll in the rings, bump's too much weight. But it is possible.
Yep.
So they're not going to measure those stones on Quebec, Ontario sheet.
Whoa. Whoa.
No clue what they are going to do. They're all still off the ice. This is not close. This is well over curled and accidentally going to do it the other way.
It's all right.
You can see how that's not rolling in the rings with bump very often, but sometimes if you're going to miss, kind of like in golf, you want to miss by a lot. It's the close misses that kick you in the behind. That one, if she's closer, she jams it in there, jams it at the back, and it's a really bad situation. But because Brenda missed by a little bit more than normal, it actually worked out okay. So we're going to try and replace this guard, but this one's tight. Line is not good on this center guard. Over curling substantially, I think. Yeah, they can chase this. So they are kicking the rocks off in the Ontario-Quebec game. They're in the fourth end break, so I don't know what they've decided, but just feel awful for the official, obviously. But feel terrible for both teams. Not a good situation for anybody.
Yep. Yes.
Got this one tight. Brenda
Quick.
with back-to-back interns that they really got to sweep. Can they hold it by the center guard? No, they cannot. Trading opportunities.
Okay.
That was a great chance for Saskatchewan to hit and lie too and put Nova Scotia in some trouble. And I know sometimes I jinx the players. I hate to think that last night in the lounge, one of the things we were talking about and that I suggested was I don't know why the officials do the measuring. And here we are today, an official comes out and you feel terrible for them. It's drop the measuring device and hit a rock. And I assume what's happened is it's going to be a tie measure and that neither of those stones are going to count. They have hung 2 on the board for Ontario. So without talking to the players, I'm not sure what happened there, but I think maybe amongst the teams they agreed that Ontario was likely shot and they gave it to them. Not a good guard here from Mary Sue.
Right on the nose, Patty. Make the double.
Nova
Just
Scotia
give me a 10, though.
been heavy on a few draws, and that could be expensive. Big shot for Patty Hersecorn here. Nose double to lie two.
Clean. Clean. Whoa, curl.
This one's hanging out there. She's going to jam this, folks. Not going to make the double.
Okay. That's
Not-
fine.
Not okay and not fine, but Sherry's one of the nicest ladies you'll ever meet, so she's never going to say anything different. needed to stay there, if nothing else. Just trying to nose the back one. Didn't sound like Helen loved Mary Sue's throw there, but the sweepers are trying to hold it. Can Julie hold this one on the nose? Got to stay on the nose. Doesn't do it.
Right on the nose.
Bit of a sloppy end here for both teams. And another chance. So it's 4-3 for Quebec. Quebec will have the hammer in the 5th end. I don't think I'm going to be able to tell you what happened there until after the game, unfortunately.
Anita! Hard! Hard! All the way, all the way, all the way. Okay, Patty.
Pretty good shot there. Lying 2. Nova Scotia could take on the slash double. Decided to hit and roll in front of the 2 back rocks. Rolling in front of either one of them will do the trick. Right in the middle of them would probably be the best.
I don't know. They said 9-5, so maybe.
Ontario forced to a single in the 4th. Not sure if I updated that. It is 3-2 Ontario. Home province Nova Scotia looking for a deuce in 5 with the hammer down 1. Looking like they have a chance later in the end.
Hopefully it gets more than it's getting right now.
Oh, hit and roll out there. Unforced error. Not sure that one was out of play when we kicked that one, Sherry, but it wasn't going to matter.
Yeah, I guess there's probably the best, eh?
So it didn't curl enough. You'll see on the replay here, just didn't quite curl enough. They're sweeping it to try and make it curl.
Yeah.
And it's rolling out of the
Keep
rings.
me there, shouldn't it?
Yeah, Sherry kicks this, and that's not even close to out of play, Sherry. Not going to matter.
We're shot. That should keep me in the 8 foot. Like, I don't think this is going to curl until the end, right?
So we're going to draw to lie 2 here. You could hit the back one, but you're going to leave.
8 for center.
You're going to leave Teresa an easy double. So
Inch less.
the problem here is you're going to leave her a hit and roll back in front, where if she makes it, you're not really going to have a chance at a deuce.
Pretty light, or it felt light. Gotta go.
So thought it was light out of her hand.
Hard, guys.
Front
Way
end,
to
Anita,
land,
Anita and
we
Brenda are working it. Patty coming out to help. Got to get full 8 foot here.
Hard. Hard. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Will they get it there?
Buddy. Go, 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 go. Good sweep.
Just gets it there. Great team sweep. Great team shot.
Oh, good sweeping.
You can hear Sherry. Thanks, team.
Yeah, that's the problem. Didn't get over far enough and deep enough.
Can they hit and roll on top of their own here? Pretty difficult to get on top of it. Sherry talking about the sheets in her bed for some reason, by the sounds of it. Wanted to curl more. But I do think this rolls into the side of the yellow. She has to throw this pretty hard to get it to roll up. We'll see what Teresa Breen can come up with. T-Bird, as they used to call her.
Oh, she should not get over there.
Sherry called it early. She's
Side, would you?
Missed this one wide. Not even going to stay in the rings. So free draw for Saskatchewan. Just what the doctor ordered after the deuce out of nowhere and a steal. A free draw to the 8-foot for Sherry Anderson and the 4-time reigning champs to take a 2-point lead. Great sweep on that.
A couple feet more.
Yeah, so as a sweeper, I do want a couple feet more.
The same weight.
But just a couple feet, Sherry. Let's not do anything silly. I don't mind working for an extra point. I don't know about Brendan and Anita, but going back to back, you know, so it's 25 seconds of sweeping, having about a 40-second break, and then doing it again is not all that much fun. But when it's for an extra point, I'm okay to puke.
Have a look, Brenda. Have a look.
Brenda's not worried. That's a confident looking clean.
Whoa.
It's perfect, Sherry. Got to trust your front end just like they trust you. Big 2 points right on the button. 5-3 lead after 5 ends for the reigning champs. We'll be right back for the 6th end action.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. I'm your host, Brent Lang. Today, we've got 4 semifinals in the playoff Saturday today. We will be crowning 2 Canadian champions here that will represent Team Canada, represent our country at the World Senior Curling Championships in Pyeongchang in March, site of the 2018 Olympics. Not sure if they're playing in the same venue, but I got to think there's a pretty good opportunity that they are, a pretty good chance. So lots on the line today. Nerves, excitement, all sorts of stuff going on. Everybody wanting to win this. We've got 8 great teams out here, 8 of the best in Canada, and we've got 4 close games going on.
Thanks.
In our game, Sherry Anderson, thanks to a fantastic sweep from her front end, and even Patty Hersikorn got in there. All 3 got in there to get the first one into the 8-foot and resulted in a free draw for 2 on her last. So Nova Scotia got to try and make something happen here. Need a corner guard. Julie McMullen asked to give her team a chance.
Help, I'm falling and I can't get up.
Here come the bells and whistles and hometown crowd as Glenn McLeod, skip for Team Nova Scotia, draws to the 4-foot for 2 points in the 5th end. Going to take a 4-3 lead on Team Ontario. Howard Rahala and the boys from Ontario. Team Ontario with the hammer and a down 1 point, playing 6. Looks like Alberta, Manitoba blanked the 5th end as well, but certainly not going to be a blank here in 6. We've got rocks all over, and looks to me like a very good chance for 2 for Alberta, but
I know.
skip rocks to come. In the Quebec game, Louis Biron, I know you're listening. I'll try and keep you up to date. Looks like the ladies from Quebec have a very good chance of scoring 2 points here.
Okay.
Into third stones, drawing to lie 2. In our game, 2 great shots there from Anita. That's where I would like them. Corner guard made by Julia. Now being asked to probably nose this one and try and stay right on top of the red one. This one's got a curl. Well, maybe she is trying the double. Needs to stick around here. Whatever they're trying, it sounds close. So she was playing the roll behind the corner. Did she roll far enough? Sherry gave her a good shot nod. The crowd likes it. Don't think it quite rolled Barry, however.
You've been giving me, Brenda.
So Brenda Gertzen has a chance to chase this one. You can see here they're sweeping it hard to hold the line. Doesn't quite make the double and doesn't quite roll far enough, but a great shot. Moves that other red one far enough that when they do come around the corner guard, eventually, it will outcount that one.
Yep. Yes. Hard, guys, hard. Quick.
Really
You
got to
gotta
go to
push,
get it
Patty,
by the corner
push.
guard. Can't kill this corner guard or it goes back.
Quick, quick.
Oh, the feather tick, and Sherry's praying in the middle of the end. Praying to the curling gods, wondering what happened there. That's one of those absolute feather ticks that enough to redirect the rock, but hardly moves the guard. So now that red one, when Julie made that double and pushed it over behind the tee line on the side, they're trying to freeze to it. A good call here. Helen needs to make one for her team here. They all look very concerned that it's heavy, however. Anything but heavy here. Even if you threw a corner guard, it's helpful. You can't throw this one through the rings. It's got to curl and stop. Got to curl and stop. Weight's not that far off. Stay for second. It does. Weight's really good. Just a line there. A little bit heavy. If she's 3 feet lighter, she probably gets the line. Problem is going that far is going to leave a double potential.
Give me a 10.
Not going to make a double with the 10, though. So not trying to take on the double. Quebec missing an opportunity here. Third, second rock of the end, trying to draw to line 2. They threw it just through the rings, unfortunately. So looking like a force now. This one getting close to the guard as well. No, plenty by. Will it roll right over to that yellow? Would be great for Saskatchewan. So halfway, but
Good.
Nova Scotia just roll it right back to that corner guard. The nose hit wouldn't be bad either. Hit and stay. Joanne Rizzo handing him another mistake right back. So now looking like a possible blank for Quebec. Whoa's no good. Got to make this. Make sure we stick here, Nova Scotia. But they like it now.
Good shot.
Hard to get after that roll because you don't want to roll it. Threw a lot of weight too. Again,
Didn't roll
probably
right over there, Patty. Just
I'm
a
a
10.
product of my environment, and I grew up with watching the Howards and learning from Glenn and Rich and Wayne, and those shots were always hack to board weight shots on our team. Throwing it that hard, you just got to be that much more precise.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard.
Got this one inside. This is
guys, run
real
up,
bad. This is
run
almost going to
up.
flash, but you're going to roll out on the low side. Not Patty's
Okay.
best throw there. Yeah, you can see her pointing.
Just direct it a little bit, but not
So
bad.
good slide, she said. Directed a little bit again. Sherry giving some constructive criticism like only Sherry can. What she wanted to say was you slid great and then you turned it inside. That's why it curled so much. So she said not bad. Just directed it. So Mary Sue, if she can make the come around the corner guard here, this deuce is all but locked up. Got to be in front of the tee line, buried, shot rock, looking really good. Getting tight to the guard. No, this is a really good shot here. Got to be second. Sweep that to the full 8. Almost lost it there, but that's a perfect come around for Mary Sue Radford. And extremely difficult now for Saskatchewan to get out of this without giving up a 2. Barring an open miss, we're going to have a tie game here, I think. Patty trying to hit and stay. Staying right there would be okay. I don't think they'll play the freeze. If you roll out of the 8-foot here, I think you will see Nova Scotia play that same freeze that Helen tried earlier.
Yep.
So important to stay here.
Whoa. Whoa.
Be great to roll like a foot towards the center. That's a big foot.
Good throw.
So that's not a good result. A good throw. Just mismanaged on the sweep a little bit there.
Good throw, Patty.
Chantal Osborne misses the blank attempt, but does take one and takes a 2-point lead into the 6th end. 5-3 Quebec over Ontario in the ladies semifinal.
Shoot.
So they are taking on this freeze. They know it well.
They
Mary Sue just threw a great draw on her first. Can she throw the same weight on her second?
For their draw.
Outlands just didn't curl enough here, but not super important to get the freeze. Don't want to take on the freeze so aggressively that you over curl. Gotta lie to here. Teresa working this one. She's been on this one most of the way. Speed looks good. Not going to get the line for the freeze, but as long as their second shot, that's a good shot. Two great shots there from Mary Sue Radford, and the deuce is alive.
I gave you what there?
Alberta and James Paul forced to a single. Didn't see how that came to be, but forced to a single in a 2-2 game there. Not because they're not playing. There's rocks all over the place, but 2-2 game. Manitoba hammering 7. We got a 2-end game.
I'd like to roll a foot Brenda's way.
She wants to roll a foot Brenda's way, so towards the center. So a 2-2 game
Patty threw hers good.
for a chance in the Canadian final. We've got 4 close games, as you would expect, with the 8 best teams here this week. It's the hit and roll, basically the center line.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Clean. Clean. Yep.
Sounds good here. Now Teresa's going to be asked to hit and stay. I guess the heartbreak award of the week has to go to Randy Bryden and the boys from Saskatchewan. Unfortunately for them, they needed Ontario to beat Alberta last night, and Howard Rahala did have an open hit on the button to win and didn't get the result he wanted, and Randy and the fellas were watching from behind the sheet, and that was the end of their week, unfortunately. Ending up tied with Alberta, but Alberta had the tiebreaker, the head-to-head win. So that's got to be it's tough to take, but that's part of the challenge around Robins. Those types of things happen. Teresa's sticking with the out turn. Definitely did not set this one, made sure of it. That one actually looked like it was a bit over the top, but clean, no trouble. Might even roll a little bit in front of the other one. Yeah, good shot there. Not much Sherry can do to get out of this deuce. She's going to need a miss from Teresa.
Make it go away. I could throw it hard and try to, and I get shot, but
not really worth the risk.
I know that I might be shot anyway. Make it go away. 10, I think there, Patty. It won't go crazy.
If she does nose this and is shot, it's actually going to be a tricky shot for Teresa and Team Nova Scotia.
If we can just, without
because they won't be able to nose it. But the hit and roll in might jam.
Might get shot. She has to hit it. I think this will go crazy.
So worth taking a little bit of a chance here, but you can't jam this, obviously. She'll protect.
I think I can have an inch less.
Okay. So Team Saskatchewan looks to me like 9 is kind of their favorite takeout weight, 9 or 10, which is kind of normal to control. Every team's going to have their favorite hit and stay weight. She sounds worried.
Guys, quick! Run up!
She really sounds worried, and she should be. Oh my goodness.
Yep, roll it, Brenda!
It's rolling buried though. Wow. Good news, bad news. Bad news. You can see she overcurls. She knew it right out of her hand. Didn't throw it the way she wanted to. I can't see the back one, but I think red is shot, and it's 3/4 buried. But a backline chase for 3 points here. Red is shot. Sherry's not happy, but the good news is you did roll to a spot where this is a tricky shot.
What the heck?
This spot curls. think if Teresa can make this, you'll hear some noise from the Blue Noser crowd here, Nova Scotia. Here we go. Get the weight right, Teresa, and you'll have a great chance of making this shot. Back ring. Not heavy. I like that, though. This will curl. Oh, she's really got this one curling. This is almost on the guard. So a little bit too light, and disappointment for Nova Scotia. They're only going to get 1 point there, and a great matrix-style dodge from Sherry Anderson and Team Saskatchewan. A huge break to roll buried one on a complete miss. So Saskatchewan up one with the hammer, heading to the 7th. We'll be right back to see how this one ends up.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back, folks. Never want to miss a moment of this action. And did that ever turn? That end turned on its head twice in the last 2 minutes. Sherry threw a bad one, jammed it, but got super lucky and rolled mostly buried and left Teresa a really difficult shot for 3. And I think Teresa threw it a little bit square, so got it curling a little bit early in a spot that does curl. Went after it and didn't work out, but rolled in for 1.
What I drew up.
So 5-4. 5-4 Saskatchewan with the hammer playing 7. Nova Scotia going to need a couple of center guards to put some pressure on Saskatchewan here. Certainly nowhere near over with what we've seen today and all week. What's going on around the world here? Alberta, Manitoba, interesting end going on there. Cat and mouse tied with always. Sometimes you go too hard for the blank and get forced to 1, but not a terrible result. Looks like Quebec, Ontario semifinal. Looks like Quebec's got Ontario in all kinds of trouble again. With the hammer, Ontario throwing a run back. I think Quebec's lying 3 behind it. And Nova Scotia, Ontario men's side. Nova Scotia looking in control of this end, up 1 without the hammer.
No, it cannot be a 7, guys. If it's 7, make it 9. Okay, back here.
Cannot
Back
be a
8.
7. Do not want it back button. This is not a 7.
Okay.
So great judge by the sweepers. Anita, again, a little bit heavy there. Saw this 2 ends ago coming this direction. Julie McMullen, excuse me, lost my tongue there for a second. Professor of, I think it was sociology at Western University in London. So I would like to freeze this one to the back. Personally, I would have thrown another center guard here. Definitely need somebody to score here for Nova Scotia. A steal would be great. Force to 1 gives yourself a chance for 3 to win the game. Mark Klink from Alberta with a great hit and roll over there to put some heat on Manitoba. Alberta lying 2 buried. Third's last one to come. Dean Moxham's going to have to come up with something. Playing the chase here. I really think that Nova Scotia would have been well served to throw a high center. The first one's so good.
Hard line, you gotta go.
This wouldn't be bad for Saskatchewan if this chipped the guard and rolled in the rings.
Whoa.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Didn't chip it far, but that's a pretty good result.
Okay.
I don't think this is a great situation for Nova Scotia at the moment. Dean Moxman did not come up with anything magical. So Alberta in firm control of that end over there, but things happen fast here in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia at the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. Trying for the hit and roll dead buried here. Precision shot. Pretty good shot there. Could have rolled a little farther, but great shot from Helen Radford. Good line call from Teresa. Might be able to make the double here.
Just that bump you've been giving me, Brenda.
So she can see enough to make the double. Bumper weight, has to hit it perfect to kill them both. Big shot here.
Whoa.
Even if she were to hit and stay.
Whoa.
Just don't want to miss this wide and roll out.
Hard.
Brent, keep your mouth shut. You're jinxing these players again. That's a bad miss. You got to hit and stay there, if nothing else.
Okay.
So now Nova Scotia, they're going to come in. I still prefer a guard here. With how good Patty and Sherry are at hitting, and the whole Saskatchewan team for that matter, I'd like to see another guard here. You do have one on the back of the button. I know it's behind the tee line, but coming in, the second that Saskatchewan's able to chase and stay in the rings, you got a problem. They like the look of this though. Got to get it by the guard, making a big move. Did they leave it too long? Maybe the feather tick to straighten it? Oh, great shot from Helen Radford. Very good shot. All sorts of pressure on Saskatchewan, makes it perfect. So Brenda, it's chance to make the run back. Could make the triple. It could see all three yellows.
Try to get the double.
Sherry's explaining it.
Out turn, yep. Yep. Hard.
Working it. Sounds close.
Yes, yes, yes.
Brenda Gertzen to open it all up. Oh, that's a
Good
great
job,
shot.
Brenda.
Switches the color of the guards, which is
Sorry.
huge. But still a problem. You can see her wanted to hit it right there on the other side and would have made all three yellows go away, but it's still a great shot there from Brenda Gertzen. Removing the yellow guard, replacing it with red, and getting rid of one of the rocks in the house. Nervous day for families and friends here today. I feel their pain. Watching is difficult. All you want is for your loved ones to realize a dream, earn the right to wear Team Canada, that maple leaf, and you have absolutely nothing you can do to help. Ontario in huge trouble.
Right there.
I think Joanna has to
Just
draw
a
the button
10,
against
Patty.
two
I'd like to
potentially.
stick around.
So you hear that, stick around is the key. Make it expensive for Nova Scotia. Chance to make the double though, and stay. Just didn't quite curl enough there for Mary Sue.
Yep.
Big opportunity for Patty.
Yes, 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 yes. Hard. Hard.
She's not rolling out.
Hard. Quick.
She might not be by the guard. Oh, she is by the guard. Oh, and makes it the other way.
Big sweep, guys.
Fortunate. Breaks are certainly going Saskatchewan's way over the last 30 minutes. Nova Scotia, though, still a pretty good opportunity here. Play that out turn, come around to the back forefoot. You can see the double here. She did not want to get by the guard that tight and make it that way. Didn't even kill the back one. That's not a shot you make if you try it. To me, the out turn looks more natural, but I guess they know this in turn better. Looks like a great shot from Joanne Rizzo. Draws the side of the button against 2 to stay alive. 5-4 Quebec. Quebec will have the hammer in the 7th end in the ladies semifinal. This one, the weight looks okay, but the line, it's got to curl. Really got to swing for them here. Got to get this back there. I would keep sweeping that. Not shot rock, actually. They were right. I was wrong. Get used to it. It happens a lot. So I think red is shot rock. Sherry's going to switch to throw a draw here, I would think.
We're shot.
She's got to throw the draw here.
I actually like this top 4 right there.
Getting a phone-in caller here. That was my daughter Skyla quickly, having her Saturday morning breakfast. Out turn come round. Saskatchewan thinking the out turn looks more natural. It looks more natural to me if you know the path.
10.
This looks like a bit of a rocket.
Ooh, 13 and a half. Okay.
Yikes. Attack weight, unfortunately, not showing her up. So second chance here for Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Sticking with the turn they know.
When you get a chance, you can look at those. I'm pretty sure it's us.
So still an opportunity for both sides. Update in the Ontario-Nova Scotia men's semifinal. Ontario forced to 1 and 6. So we got another 2-end game to get to the Canadian final. Nova Scotia with the hammer, playing 7. Halfway through the end, too. This one's a little heavy again and not curling. Might as well freeze it right to the back one, ladies. Okay, speed is good, just didn't get the line. There is a double there to lie 3.
I want to play the double.
Very similar to the shot Patty made. The issue is
I don't want to bomb it.
you might roll to the back of the
I want to
button.
get inside without getting cute, Patty. A nose isn't the end of the world.
Nose makes it. I think nose is your best result here. If you get inside and roll to the back of the button.
Chances, try to make the double.
Because they're up 1, they can take a chance.
On there.
Yeah.
Patty was a little tight.
Well thought out here by Sherry, as usual.
Just a 10, I think. And if we nose it, I mean nose to just inside is what we need, right? Basically a nose, Patty, you'll do it, right?
She likes it out of her hand. This sounds like bad news for Nova Scotia. This is a little high. Pretty good result. I think that red one is out of play. Good throw. Close, maybe just a little hard. That looks harder than a 10, but I'm not too disappointed in that result if I'm Saskatchewan. I'm not sure what Nova Scotia does here to really get us in trouble. Playing the freeze, but if they over curl by anything, yeah, Sherry's just going to get to hit it for 2.
I didn't blast it, I was just coming down. I can nose it
Working this one, they think it's a little light. Need to weld this right on the nose. Don't know that this is hard enough. This is coming up short of shot rock, I believe. Pretty good effort there from Teresa, just a little short. So a chance for Sherry Anderson and Team Saskatchewan. Full 4-foot for a 2 points and a 3-point lead coming home, which is a pretty comfortable lead.
Still 15 over there. I got 13 and a half and Patty's was hack. So just, we need full 4, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna give you about 15-2, I think.
This is why Sherry makes the big bucks, they say, even though this is really a shot that's going to be made or missed probably by Brenda and Anita. We give the credit to the thrower, which I guess there's some value in that. She needs to throw this on the right line and with the right weight and give the sweepers a chance.
Gave it some. Off. Off, Anita.
So they think it's heavy.
Hard.
I don't know what that is if they think it's heavy. I don't like that.
It's a ton.
That to me tells me you're trying to slow it down. She's missed that one pretty badly. Too uncharacteristic. Ugh. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, we got a ball game here. Saskatchewan forced to the single there. 6-4 Saskatchewan coming home. Nova Scotia with the hammer in the 8th end to book a spot in the Canadian Championship. We'll be right back.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back, folks. The momentum swings continue. I know Saskatchewan is up 2, but missing that draw gives Nova Scotia a little bit of life for sure. So we'll see what they can come up with. Speaking of Nova Scotia men in a bit of trouble here. Shot rock, but behind 3 red ones. Glenn McLeod with an in-turn draw coming up here on his first in the 7th to lie 2.
Well, just a tight 3 is fine. Let me in, Brenda.
So Anita
I don't know.
was asked to draw the 4-foot here. Going to come up a little short, but not the end of the world. Seeing a lot of heavy draws all of a sudden. I don't know if the ice is getting a little faster. Generally doesn't at this time of the game unless a team leaves the ice or something, but all the games are still on. Nothing should have changed. Maybe the plant kicked on or off. Maybe the adrenaline's flowing late in a semifinal of a Canadian Championship. It's a good looking shot here from Julie McMullen. Just need a corner guard that's very usable, and that's definitely that. That's perfect. That's where you want your corner guards. Right there, guarding full 8-foot, just past halfway. Quebec ladies in some trouble this end.
Line's good.
Need a couple of big shots here.
Line's good. 5-6, yep.
Playing the come around now.
Curling, yes, line.
Need to come up short on her first, and this one is getting really tight to the guard.
Push, 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 push.
Brenda needs to work this one hard to get it by. I think she's accomplished it.
Okay.
Oh, just a feather tick, which probably helped them.
Good silent call.
Yeah. And a good shot from Quebec over here. I believe she called the come around, but they're looking for an audible. Sweeping this to try and chip the guard. If you want to hit the guard, you got to keep sweeping that, Helen. Okay. Don't think that got very buried, but Not what they were trying. Got fairly buried, actually. A little bit, anyway. So Brenda with a very important shot here as the tension mounts here in the 8th end of the semifinal. Winner off to the championship final with the chance to represent Canada. Oh, a little
hard.
subtle,
Hard all the way.
subtle inside move there
Hard.
on release, and probably going to hit the
Okay,
guard, and you
okay.
cannot hit the guard here. It's going to go
Stop it,
back.
Stop it.
And that's a big mistake there from Brenda. I didn't notice until now, but a reminder from Team Saskatchewan to the rest of the teams. In case you're wondering who the top dogs are, have a look at my broom. Running the Team Canada brooms at a national championship, I believe. So now Helen Radford with a chance to make the come around and maybe bump hers back. Rolly buried, and a little bit of trouble here for Saskatchewan early. Lots to take place still, but got to go to get this by the guard. I think they've lost this one. And I don't know, I'd have to check, but that's that number 3 rock potentially that James Paul was talking about last night.
Give me 10.
They
Right to me.
didn't sound worried until it was too late. Big break there for Saskatchewan.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard.
Brenda looking to make good on her second one, same shot.
Okay. Good throw, Brenda.
See the replay here. Over curls what they wanted, but Kiwa's hitting it out. Is Nova Scotia playing a run back here, down 2 points? I guess they got to deal with that one eventually, but going to go to third stones with nothing in the rings for Nova Scotia. Great shot by Helen Radford there. I don't love the call. I think you play the intern draw there. See what Saskatchewan does.
I prefer to come this way. It's nice here.
So see if Patty can shake off that draw from last end and make a good one here for her team. This would go a long way in solidifying their place in the final. Don't know if Helen rolled too far to make that one usable. It's definitely usable. I just don't know if they can hit it on the nose if Patty gets one right behind it.
Whoa.
Nova Scotia men were forced to a single in 7.
We're up.
So the classic, Ontario down 1 with, coming home.
Still close.
Same situation, Manitoba forced to 1. Alberta down 1 with, coming home.
Okay.
Patty heavy again. Unforced error and opportunity knocks here. Mary Sue, if you can make this one buried top 4, you can put a lot of pressure on Team Saskatchewan here and start to make them think about, oof, we might not just give up 2 here. We could potentially lose the game. Four fantastic games on the ice this morning. Wish I could be commentating them all. This one looks heavy too. I think the ice has picked up in speed and the players just aren't picking up on it. Needs to be shot, but no need. May as well take it all the way back. So this is a situation where that doesn't look like a dangerous rock back there. But if you can follow me through here, if Patty makes this draw, which I fully expect her to make the adjustment, make it top 4, and then Nova Scotia freezes one on there on the angle. Saskatchewan will probably try the freeze, and you might set it up where that corner guard angle raise could come in for 3 in about eight minutes from now. And they might have a shot to win. I kind of like freezing the back one myself.
Yep. Yes.
But they are perfect center guards. So right on the button makes some sense too.
Let me in, Brent. I gotta go. Go, Terry. I got it. Take it in there.
Good shot from Patty. Made the adjustment.
Shot. Shot.
Ontario ladies with a little pep in their step here. Drawn to like 3 without the hammer on Joanne's last. And Chantal Osborne's going to have a very difficult shot. Up one with the hammer. She'd be very happy to give up a steal at 1 right now. She will have a shot to score. It's just going to be difficult.
Where did my last one end up?
Oh, didn't curl enough, and
We'll call it time.
tough shot there to ask for from Mary Sue, and doesn't open it up is the biggest reason I don't love the shot.
Come around that.
I like freezing on the back one. Get another one in there, yeah.
Come around this. I mean the guard, not my rock. This one. Yeah. I called a timeout. Come here, let's discuss.
Let's listen in here.
I don't like on top because if I offset it and she gets around there, I can't move it. What do you like?
I like coming half around it.
Well, that's what I thought first.
Around everything. Yeah, it's just if we don't come half around it, she's going to stay still, right? And then they've got one.
Well, she's got to be careful. She's got to be careful. She dead nuts it. She had dead nuts it. Done it again.
I would say half around, take 3.
Well, or do you like this better?
I think that's a pretty good shot, Sherry.
Yeah, I don't really want to, like, because that brings that rock into play if I let her hit that.
She's not going to do it. She can't run it, but she's got to get high.
I know, but where do you think?
I know. All I'm saying is she's going to try and make a big one. So let's take this off the side. I don't know. Yeah. We either go.
Okay. Well, I don't like this because if she, no, I'm not saying that. Right here. Well, either way, I'm double guarding if she comes around, right?
I like there.
So Sherry's last comment there. So you're going to throw a guard, and if she comes around, Sherry says she's going to
Tuck a little bit behind. is
double
all. It doesn't have
double
to.
guard and leave her an angle raise for the win. I don't think that's what she'd end up doing. Maybe I misheard her. Sounds like they're throwing a guard here. Right now, what is Nova Scotia's best shot? There aren't really any guards they can come around, right? Throwing a guard here is
I try to follow her and freeze on it.
okay. That's more like it, Sherry. But throwing a guard here is going to give them something to come around.
Maybe the shot is to go around it.
I like coming right to the back one. Take 3 out of play. They may freeze on the back one, but so what? You follow them down and you win the game.
Just a 3.
Okay, you're going to see Nova Scotia with a free out turn come around to the 4-foot to set up a deuce.
Really light.
So a steal of 1 for Ontario
If it's just a 2, just clear.
and a tie game
Whoa.
with Quebec with the hammer in the 8th end. So we got a tie game, we got 2 1-down widths, and we've got 1 2-down width. All the classic situations, all the action you could ever hope for on championships Saturday. Rich Moffat just with an unfortunate brick at the wrong time. So you can see what I was talking about there. Before, she didn't have a come around. She had to come around one top 8 to get buried.
Get top button.
And now she can come around.
Chances are she's going to pop out in the open.
I think Sherry's realizing that that probably wasn't the right call. Not that it wasn't the right call, but it gives Nova Scotia a chance here when they didn't have much going on. See if Teresa can come up with the goods at the right time. She had a little trouble with her out turn running straight this game. You can see a lot of spin on the rock, which makes it run straighter. This one's got a curl too. Close for line, I think. Not behind the sheet, but needs to curl. Needs to curl. Definitely needs to curl. You got to sweep this, ladies. You got to get it in there.
Well, without getting too cute.
Yeah, Sherry can hit that.
With hack.
I would have thought she would have just ripped this, but make her make the angle, but I guess this makes sense. Ontario men in huge trouble. Desperate times to score a point even over there, let alone a deuce to win the game. So big shot for Sherry here. If she can hit and roll to the button, even just hit and stay, the game's basically over. Trick shot from James Paul. Runner to set up a chance for 2 to win the game. Okay, Sherry Anderson going with hack. Don't get too cute. She said that multiple times.
I got lots of time, hey?
Oh, a Ronnie restart. Old Tiger Woods stopped in the downswing. Here comes, folks. Biggest shot of Sherry Anderson's week, no doubt.
Yep. Yes.
Didn't look tight to me. Maybe a little panic sweep there. Maybe a lot of panic sweep there. This has got a curl. Doesn't want to jam it on the back one. I think it'll leave it shot. No, it does not leave it shot, but decent shot there. Teresa's going to have to make a run back stick of some sort.
It didn't look as good from the other end for the hack.
Looks to me like the intern runner on the corner guard. And Howard Rahala with 2 to come is in jail. Looking at 2 buried on the 4-foot. Needs to make a runner to give himself a chance to score 1.
Yeah, it's probably good I didn't hit much more, but I didn't want
So I'm not sure. There's not a lot of
anything back there.
conversation here. It's which one looks better. The middle one is there, but the middle one, a lot of times when you make it, it's going to come back and clip your yellow one. This angle on the intern looks like the most natural one. But it comes down to, what do you see, Teresa? Which one do you like best? Looks like they're looking at the corner guard. I think it certainly makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think she's.
So here we go, half rock for the extra end.
She has to. I said she has to stick it, so.
James Paul about to knock out Manitoba, I think, folks. James Paul and Team Alberta from dead last night trying to prolong their agony. This one's not very close, unfortunately, for Nova Scotia fans, and we've got another final here. Team Saskatchewan going to get a chance to go for 5 later today. A hard-fought win, lots of back and forth, entertainment at its best for curling fans. Saskatchewan ladies move on to the final. And Alberta and James Paul, like I was saying, he was saying last night in the 6th end, well, I guess we'll hit here and prolong the agony. Well, their agony is going to go one more game because they're going to the Canadian final with a chance to win the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship. So I'm Brent Lang. Been great to hang out with you again today. I'll be back for the finals. Men's final up first at 12:30. Ladies final, I believe, is at 4:30. Bronze medal games to go alongside. I'll be back for the next draw.